Hello folks, I'm Ed Overstreet and welcome to the Night Sky Imaging YouTube channel. We're going to be starting a series of hopefully short tutorials on how to process PixInsight, at least how I do it. And it varies from person to person, but I'll go through how I approach processing a deep space image. And we're going to start with narrowband images. Once I've completed beginning and ending steps processing those, I'm going to do an LRGB, and then I'm going to finish it with a one-shot color camera, and in my case, a DSLR. So let's go through this. Let's get this started. And again, the very first thing that I do in PixInsight is I look through my image to see if I have any keepers. So let's find some real estate. And let me share my screen, and let's open PixInsight. Takes it a second. I have a slow computer, and throughout this series of tutorials I will pause the recording so that you don't have to go through the agonizing wait that I have to deal with and you have to deal with when you're doing this. The very first thing I do, though, I save my processes over and over again, and I sometimes add new processes to my workflow. But these processes do represent my workflow, and since it's pretty repeatable, I save that. So let's load them. Go to Process, go down to Process Icons, and load Process Icons. And if anybody wants these process icons, just send me a message and I will send those to you. First thing I'm going to do is open the screen transfer function. And kind of a review, because everything above the screen transfer function has to do with the very first steps in getting your image together. Since I'm using the weighted batch processing script, a lot of these I'm not using, but if I do it manually, I have to calibrate my images, and you have the process of registering them and then integrating them. You have to debayer the images, in some cases with one-shot color, and so and also I have my cosmetic script template already saved here, so I don't have to create this over and over again. But from dynamic crop to a linear fit to combining the narrowband images into a color image, then to run the dynamic background extraction, do a multilinear denoise, and then do color calibration. I will also have created my luminance layer and ran deconvolution on it. It's about that time that I start stretching and or running the histogram transformation, and then these following steps involve curves, saturation, and other things that I may use to denoise or to add noise application, sometimes sharpening to the image, and then it's off to Photoshop. So the first thing that I want to do is to look through my images to see if I have keepers, and if I have sufficient keepers to work with. So I go to Process, I go to All Processes, and since everything is in alphabetical order, I go down to Blink, and at the bottom of Blink, the tool is a folder where you click to load your images, and here are my images. Obviously, I had already marked one bad, probably sitting in front of the data as it came in, and I saw that I had bad stars or something was wrong with it, so I'd already marked it bad, so we won't load it. But we're loading our images. Okay, we have our first image has been opened automatically by the blink tool, and it's hydrogen alpha, and I can see that the data looks pretty good. I'm going to go through each image twice. I'm going to take a wide view of the entire picture first to see if there's any eyeball rejects, and then I'm going to zoom in and go through each image to look at the stars in much closer detail and see if I have more images to get rid of, and I'm sure I will. I always do. So let's get started, but first there has been a histogram stretch already applied to this image, but not to all of them. So I'm going to need to go to the top of Blink and right here click on this tool which applies the automatic histogram transformation to all the images. Okay, that process is completed, so now we can go through each of the images, and you can do that two ways. You can click this, actually this middle arrow moves through them very quickly, kind of like a time lapse. Oh, I saw a real mess back there. Or you can go as I do, one at a time, and I just use my down arrow and I go very quickly through. I don't delete, by the way, images that have airplane streaks or meteor issues. Used to, but I don't anymore. There's another airplane. Uh-oh, that's the one that have no idea what happened here, but I'm going to go ahead and check this one or uncheck it. I don't like the way PixInsight blinks images. I can already tell you that's a bad one. Another bad one. I'm not going to spend too much time on those right now because I'm going to get closer. We have clouds you can see coming in. I'm just looking for the eyeball rejects like that one. Here's another one. It's eyeball reject. Okay, so we've taken a far away look. Let's go back now and let's zoom in and get rid of those that are having elongated stars. And let's just find a part of the sky to kind of represents this whole. Let's get some stars in it. All right, that'll work. And let's go slower. Check in our stars. That's the one we deleted. Or we haven't deleted it yet. We unchecked it. Okay, that one we did uncheck. That one we need to uncheck and already did. Whoop, that one got bias. That one needs to go. Normally when you run into one bad one, you'll run into a bunch of them. Yep, that needs to go. That needs to go. That one. That one. That one. That one. And that one. That one. That one. That one. We may not have any S2. May have to reshoot that. I must have had some cable issues. because all of these are haywire and my guiding is pitiful. And I know the polar alignment didn't change, so alright, we're done. Now, this is not intuitive. If you've gotten this far blinking and you were unsuccessful in figuring out how to move or copy these files, here's what you have to understand is that because they're checked does not mean they're selected. They're only selected if they have been selected. So what I do, I'm using a Mac, and I think you can substitute the control key where I use the command and the shift key. So I'm going to click on the first image, and I'm going to go down, and holding down the shift key I'm going to select all of those. Now I'm going to use the command key to pick up the next acceptable image, and then I'm going to go down to here, hold the shift key, and select those. Okay, come on down here. Then I'm going to hold the command key, select that one, and we're good to here. Is that right? Yep. Then we're going to go to this one and use the command key. Oh crap, I used the option key. You gotta be careful. Let's do it again. I'm gonna go a little faster. Pay attention, Ed. Okay, now we're back to our option key. Okay, these are the ones that I want to keep. These are the ones I want to process. I don't want to fool with the other ones. And if I don't have enough data, I'm looking again to make sure I didn't omit any, and I think we're good. And what I like to do is I like to copy the images and save all of them, but I like to copy the images, which is this folder down here. It's the fourth one in, and I'm going to copy those to another folder that I'm going to call Blink. And so let's go to October, Crescent, and we're going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call this Blinked. And I know the images in here have had the bad ones removed. Okay, folks, we have completed the blink process. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a folder, and let's go to Astro Drive, and 2021 September, and we're in October, Crescent, my blinked images, and let's see how many we have. We have 4903, so I lost one. I mean HA. We have 4703, and I think I got rid of all my S2, and I have 7 S2. Normally I probably wouldn't waste any time on this. I would shoot this image again on another night and try to get some more O3 and S2, especially S2. But this is a tutorial, and we're going to go ahead and shoot this. So let's call this one a day, and I will catch you guys on part 3 when we use the weighted batch processing script.